Alright, welcome to RTX Pinball. I am RetroTechX, and today we're going to be doing a review of Williams Volume 9, which came out for the Atgames 4KP this last Thursday. And we're going to get into it. We've got Pinbot, Taxi, and Who Dunnit were the games that were released this week. And they've all had a kind of a storied history, if you will. We're going to get into each one of the individual games and kind of go over the graphics, the gameplay, just what the conversions are like from the consoles, from VR and also to 4KP, and talk a little bit about the differences between the two and just kind of look at different things across the board. In the end, I'll give it a review for each of the individual games and for the packet as a whole, and whether or not you want to add this to your collection or not. So we're going to start out with Pinbot. Pinbot was the one that was kind of hyped up. Everybody kind of wanted Pinbot. We had it in other conversions of other different pinball games over the years. We've had it in Pinball Arcade once upon a time. First off, looking at the table, we're going to jump in and kind of go over a little bit, look at the special features, the visual extras and things like that. You can see on the back glass, once it loads up here, there is Pinbot. Obviously, really awesome back glass. This was iconic for its day. This came out in 1986. As you look around the table, the first thing you'll notice is this really awkward black bar right at the top here. Really strange. We have to assume that it has something to do with the aspect ratio of the original game versus the 4KP's POVs. Being a straight-on looking console, if so to speak, some of the POVs on the 4KP don't really translate real well, and what really happens a lot of times is you'll notice the playfield's kind of crunched down. If you look at Billy Wood's Mod's comparison videos on some of the other versions of Volume Pack 9, you'll notice that this type of area is quite a bit higher, and everything's kind of extended out. So this is kind of taking the idea that you're going to take it like this and you're going to kind of tip it down quite a bit to make it appear from your standing stance how it would look in real life. So they're doing the best they can to try to accommodate for that sloping visual that you can't actually get with a flat down two-dimensional display. So it is a little awkward to see that. We haven't seen it on any other games thus far, but it is what it is. Graphically, the table is very clean, very crisp. I see not a lot of jaggies. It's very clean across the board. It's beautiful, bright, and vibrant. I'll turn on the visual extras just so you can see them. You have the Bride of Pinbot over here, also known as the Nymph, I believe. They refer to the Nymph, which I believe ends up being Bride of Pinbot. Pinbot himself is over here, and he kind of flies around the table. You also have this really cool sun feature, which actually will turn into an eclipse during the gameplay, which is actually really, really cool. All of the lights and just everything's really, really pretty. One thing I will say is the digitized speech in this game is quite quiet. That's going to be something I'm just going to definitely listen for. The sound effects kit does a really good job of emphasizing bumps and bangs and everything around here. I'll leave the visual features on for a little bit so you can kind of get a feel of what those look like. You'll see some a twirling vortex tornado. You'll see some lightning effects over here. These two characters interact a few different times, and of course the sun is probably the most compelling of all the elements on the table. I'll turn this up a little bit further just so you can hear everything going on. There's that spinning vortex. This is very much a shooter's table. Everything on here is very shooter-based, and if you miss a shot in this instance, hit that post, boom, right straight down the middle. Pinbot was kind of ruthless for its day. It swallowed a lot of quarters. One of the best things about having this table come out is all the stories that I've heard about Pinbot over the years, as people have played this, in laundromats and arcades back in the day. It's just been really cool to hear a lot of those stories and the nostalgia surrounding it. So very much a shooter's table. You have to be pretty darn accurate. Now, with that comes the worry of lag. I would not say that there's any lag in these tables. I think the 4KP actually allows you to take shots very accurately. Like if I want to shoot green, I can be pretty accurate in hitting green, for example. There is the lag is very, very minimal. The one thing I will say about the 4KP is that you are going to notice that the ball tends to feel a lot heavier. And I think that has a lot to do with the POV, which we've seen in quite a few different games. We've seen it on Addams Family. Really, most Zen tables have a added level of almost weight to the ball, which you'll see. But it is very clean, very crisp. The only thing I will say is that the ball is a little bit oblong. I know Billy Woods Mods had mentioned it. Other people have mentioned it a little bit. The ball is not completely round. You can notice it's a little bit squished, so it's more it's wider vertically than it is horizontally. Or I'm sorry, it's wider horizontally than it is vertically. And I think, again, that has to do with the POV being tipped down a little bit. So you get a little bit of those types of things going on. There's a little bit of interaction with the characters, pointing out that I just advanced the planet. But it is very much a playable table. Wonderful nostalgia for this entire table. We're going to see if we can't get into a mode here where we can actually shoot into the eyes. It can be very difficult to do sometimes, so you can do it as a part of a skill shot early in the game, which I would have liked to have done, but I missed the shot, so it's just kind of how it's going to be. Now I just have to hit yellow to start the mode. This is going to be a straight dead flip over to the right flipper. And there's the yellow shot, which will start the mode. So it opens up, you're going to get an opportunity to shoot the eyes. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's disappointing. You did see the sun change, which was pretty cool. I do have the scoring off, so I will turn this on just so you can see it. Ball trails I'm going to leave off. They're a little distracting for this type of thing for a review, but I'll show these just for a second here. This is one I struggled to review because I didn't really care for Pinbot back in the day, and it's always been one that the difficulty has really turned me off, but I've actually gotten a lot better at pinball since then, and it has actually aided quite a bit my like for the game. That side already has a pinball in it, so that's why it did not go in there, and I'm going to lose that ball too. Let's start over. Let's see if we can't get it right off the gate here with a skill shot. Nope. So now you can see here how they're cycling through vertical and horizontal. You get an opportunity for a skill shot here. Let's see if I can hit him. Still missed it. And you can see, the table can be quite brutal. If you miss a shot, you can really have some difficulties on this table. Digitized speech, again, is a little bit low considering everything else going on the table. I would have liked to have heard that a little bit better. I think it's pretty accurate to the actual game, however, because obviously digitized speech was not, was pretty new back then, so... There we got it. First time. That's what you want to do. If you can get it. He even lost the ball. You can see I'm really kind of fighting it off here and there just because of those shots going on. But we're going to get an opportunity with the second ball here. the famous line. There we go. You can kind of see the eclipse going on now, and then you can shoot for the solar values, just like so. Very cool game. There's lots of opportunity for extra balls. Once you get reasonably good at this game, there's a lot of opportunities for extra balls, which actually make it quite fun. There's a lot you can do here to really enjoy it. So what would I rate this game? It's one that I struggle to rate. The conversion is pretty good in some ways, as it's very playable. But some of the black bar at the top can be pretty difficult. The POV is pretty bad. I would say in the 4KP I would give this about a 6.5. There's a lot of things they could have done a lot better. But overall, this is an experience that you really have to play. It's one that, you know, a lot of people, if you've seen this game in live, in real life nowadays, it's usually pretty broken down. It's really hard to play. Bringing this game back into homes where people can really appreciate it for what it is really the real value here. So Pinbot's a 6.5 for me, and I think if you have nostalgia for this game, you're absolutely going to love it. There's no question. So next up, we're going to move to Taxi. And Taxi is one that I played a lot on my PlayStation Portable back in the day. Very small Sony handheld on Pinball Arcade. It was one that I absolutely fell in love with. If you play this game in real life nowadays, again, it is very, very old. It is very broken down. The plunger is almost terrible on every one that I've ever played. We'll turn on the visual extras just to show you what they are. So here's the visual extras. You see you got an arm of Pinbot. You've got the coffin of Dracula. The bats will actually fly out. You have a cloud. This car will kind of squeal and fly around here. And there's actually this really cool piece of this wooden Gorbachev that kind of hangs down with a key. When you hit that, there's a really cool wood thud to it, which is really awesome. So we'll play with those on just to show you. But for nostalgia purposes, I think the table plays and looks a little better just not having them on there. But that's just me. This is considered the Lola edition because they don't have Marilyn Monroe on some of the versions. Some of the versions in real life, there was actually it started out with a Marilyn Monroe edition. This has gone back to the Lola edition, which is much more common in real life. One thing that's really disappointing about this, though, and this is very specific to Atgames. Get this ball down here. What's really interesting is if you look at the back glass, what's missing? You're missing Gorbachev and you're missing Lola. These two characters here are completely omitted from the back glass, which initially I thought, well, okay, that was a Zen Studios thing, but it's actually not. What happens is if you look at the other console versions, including all the PS5s, the PS5, the Xbox, even VR, they all have the correct back glass. What was interesting is this is actually only done on the Atgames version. For some reason, the Atgames version omits Lola and Gorbachev, and the whole thing gets slid over and altered, and I'm not really sure why. Very disappointing. And actually, Atgames has continued to do nothing with the back glasses. If you look at the VR version, this jackpot is actually visible, and you actually see the score up in here, creating your jackpots. So again, we're not getting any true back glass integration. Some of that's probably on Zen because it's additional hardware restraints. But there's also some things going on that Atgames is doing that is not part of what Zen is doing. So they are censoring things on back glasses, definitely, which is very weird. We've seen it on Totan, Tales from Arabian Nights, where they changed out a hookah to a fruit basket, and you're seeing it here with Lola and Gorbachev not being on the back glass. It's very strange to see those alterations. That said, the game is very beautiful. As you look around the table, it looks very, very good. There's no visible jaggies. The lag is absolutely minimal. It plays good. The music is fantastic. The digitized voice is very good. Again, it's a very heavy ball, but again, I think it has to do with the POV. Regardless, you're going to notice that it feels a little heavier on the 4KP because of that. But the sound effects kit actually makes up for a lot of those omissions by having a true feel of the ball rolling around the table, which is actually something that is omitted from these. A lot of the tables that you get from Magic Pixel and really from Zen as well, you will actually hear and feel the ball rolling around the table. As Billy Woodsmith said in his review, you don't hear that in this 3-pack of games. You don't hear the ball actually rolling around the table. You will hear elements getting hit around the table, but you don't really you don't hear the ball rolling around the table, which you can actually do in a lot of other titles. So it's a little weird to have that missing in this particular version or this pack. That said, I think this is a really good conversion. The more I play it, the more I enjoy it. There is some kind of goofy things with the way Zen. For example, there's a kick out here where the Joyride and the Santa Claus is that will actually come almost dead center down the center of the flippers here. Sometimes that can be a real pain in the butt. You can get it with a nudge most times, so it's not like it's absolutely debilitating to the gameplay, but there are some things there. There you heard a little bit of that wooden thud. Let's see if I can do that again. Very pronounced, it's very good, very cool. And we'll go ahead and shoot Dracula here. And you'll see actually bats fly out. There they go. See flying across the table. It's very, very cool. So there's some really cool features here. This is a really good version. It's a very fun game. It plays a little slow, but if you play the original table, it feels pretty slow to start too. When you start hitting ramps and stuff like this, you're actually going to speed it up quite a bit, and the game gets really, really quick, and really gets very enjoyable very, very, very quickly. So if I was to rate Taxi, I think I'm going to give this about a 7. This is a table that I did have a lot of nostalgia for. I do enjoy it. I think there's some things they could have done better, and it's really weird that they're doing censoring on these tables. It's really disappointing. Not really sure what the reasoning is behind that. Certainly, Gorbachev and Lola are not controversial characters nowadays. Obviously, he's still on the playfield. I'm not really sure what the issues there are. I'm going to give this one a 7. I really like the dynamic lighting around the playfield. It's a very playable version. If you like Taxi, you're going to love this version. There's really not much else to say about it other than that value-wise, for $5, this is an incredible table. You're going to enjoy it. And that's about all I have to say about it. Let's jump out and we'll go to the final game that was announced, Who Dunnit. Now, Who Dunnit was a totally out of left field selection for myself. This is a table that very few people seem to know about, and yet it is actually a really, really good game. I learned about it on VPX about a month and a half ago. Played it there. I was introduced to this incredible James Gunn music, which I actually thought would not be in this version, and in fact it is, which I was very happy to find out. As we look around the table, again, POV, POV, POV. It is more scrunched down than a lot of the other versions. If you look at the comparison that Billy Mods did again, you'll notice that everything is kind of scrunched down. You're going to get a heavier ball overall. That's just something that we're going to see every single time. There is some really cool visual elements here that we'll turn on. So you have the detective right here in the middle. You have the additional train at the top. Not a lot going on visually here as far as visual extras. You do have a camera and stuff like that, but there's really not a lot going on. You can see as I switch them on and off, you're not missing a lot of stuff, and it doesn't really add a lot of stuff to the playfield like some Zen tables do. Certainly not in the level of Party Zone where you have it, where it actually makes the game worse when you have Captain Bizarre's rocket flying around and actually stopping you from seeing certain things on the playfield. So we'll leave these on so you can see it. Obviously that music just kicks butt. The back glass is exactly how it was. The graphics were never that great on the original playfield. It looks exactly like it did back then. There's obviously nothing active on the back glass on here, so we don't have to worry about any of that being omitted. So let's get started. So this is a game that plays a little bit like Clue, the board game Clue, which is pretty awesome. And I think this one really was a kind of a showstopper for me. This one I did not expect, I did not see coming. You do have an option to go as a novice or regular, which is pretty cool. And there's actually a tournament mode in this as well. And come to find out, there's actually a midnight multi-ball mode as well, which is I didn't know. So I'm going to have to check that out as well. So there's some really cool features with this table. I want to go with the regular mode.
Somebody come quick!
And then I was on the case.
Good stuff. The shots on this table are all really, really fun. It's a kind of a modified fan layout. You do have a center scoop that has 3 diverters, which makes up how you handle the elevator in the game. You go up, down, or you can exit the elevator. And you also have this really cool betting feature with the roulette, where you can either say risk it or not.
Come on.
You can actually get negative points pretty easily on this. It's pretty fantastic. In this case, I won 225 million points. Awesome feature.
Hey, taxi.
It really adds an element of risk and reward to the game, which is super fun to deal with. You can still digipass by pressing your up button on the 4KP and allowing you to do additional shots. Again, this is very much a shooter's table, especially with the timed shots. When you actually finish the cases, there's an instance where you have to hit the taxi shot very quickly, and then you have to follow it up with a telephone shot after that. So there's some really awesome shots on the table here. Nice and loud, but you do not hear the ball rolling around the table, which is something that was pretty interesting to not hear. And here we're jumping into multi-ball, so I'll be quiet and let you listen. Lots of points on this table, very high scoring table. To both of them at the same time. Almost 1 billion points just on that multi-ball. Pretty cool. The SSF kit sounds absolutely amazing. The telephone sounds. I just lost that ball so badly. I'm so sorry. Luckily I got that one back. But you can additionally do your dead flips. Lag is really not an issue on this table. Everything works and sounds really good.
I always felt Tony would have been a better match than Tex.
And we found the suspect. Now we have to do kind of these back-to-back shots to capture him. Pretty cool. Oh, that was not good. Now I'm in trouble. Oh. So that's a failed attempt. That missed shot initially made it too difficult to get this shot and then come back with the initial shot to the... Generally, it's to the phone, but because I missed the initial shot, I had to take the taxi. So, anyway, this game has a lot of variety to it. It has a lot of fun to it. You can really see that this has a lot of... I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy this game, and it's something that I don't think anybody has... A lot of people have not seen this one or not played it in real life. I've never seen this one in real life anywhere that I've played, and I play a lot of different pinball places, a lot of different arcades. I've been to pinball museums. I've never seen this table in real life, so it's one that I think a lot of people will enjoy having access to. And boy, that music is just fantastic, isn't it?
Tell me more about Tony.
I have learned that Tony cannot be trusted.
Alright, so that is Who Dunnit, a murder mystery. What a fantastic table. Boy, if I had to rate this one this one snuck up on me. Absolutely love this table. I'm going to give this one a 10. I keep wanting to give it a 9, but it's so addictive and very fun. I could see people really getting into this and really getting into the nuance of it. There's nothing to really not like about this table. Even if you complain about the POV being a little scrunched, it doesn't play like that. Special effects don't affect the gameplay one way or the other. It plays really, really good. Give this one a 10. It's just one that I absolutely did not expect. After playing it on VPX and seeing it announced here, I was absolutely overcome that I thought this table was actually going to come to my 4KP. And it did it so quickly. We only got a couple weeks of notice that it was coming, and then bang, it's here. So it's absolutely fantastic to have this table. Super excited for this one. Overall, though, the pack, a lot of these packs have been just absolute bangers from all three tables. Not all of these tables are great. That's the one thing I will say here. Pinbot is okay. If you had nostalgia for it, you're really going to like it. But there is definitely some issues with that. That black bar at the top is really an issue that we dealt with that. The POV is a little goofy. Taxi plays a little slow. It's a little heavy. I've seen a few bugs on there as well. And without Zen having an ability to call an attendant, it actually makes it very difficult to deal with anything like that. You usually lose a game. You end up losing the game because you have to get out of it as opposed to calling an attendant or resetting a ball like you can on some of the pixel tables. So that can be really disappointing. But in general, we don't see a lot of bugs on the Zen tables, so hopefully that hopefully we get a patch for that and we can get that sorted out. As a whole, for the pack, I think this pack is probably only about a 7 if I had to rate the entire pack. It is a good pack of games, but there's nothing fantastic in it. This game, Who Dunnit by itself is worth the $15 for the pack. If you have any nostalgia at all for Taxi and Pinbot, the $5 fee for each of those games is absolutely nothing to think of. They're, like I said, if you really get into the nuance of those games, they're actually quite good, but they can be very difficult to start. And they play a little bit slower than this one here. So that is my review of Williams Pack 9. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see any additional gameplay on this, I did almost 2 hours of gameplay on this earlier in the week as part of a first impressions video. You can go ahead and check that out. And I'm sure there's all kinds of videos going to be played on this. The Wizard Room is actually going to be played on Monday at 7:30. They're going to be going over these 3 tables as well, and this should be a lot of fun. So definitely dig into this pack. If you don't have it, I could see you definitely getting it. It's well worth the money. It's just a matter of whether or not you like these particular tables or not. Who Dunnit was an absolute mystery to me, no pun intended, and it's an absolute buy for me. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the content, and give me any comments that whether or not you like these tables or not. And we'll see you next time.